My cell phone is like not working.
It does, you know, I took my phone, you have to use Wi-Fi because in this building, I think because it's like all concrete around it, that it does not let it, but if you turn on the Wi-Fi, then it works. I had to find that out when I was trying to do post. This is just 5 of us, 6 of us, and it's going to be very informal, but we're going to make sure we get through the nuts and bolts. Yeah, so let's go ahead. All right. So, title of this is Old School Strategy, New School Tools. I am Wilkie Viva. I am Wilkie Viva the third. I have my master's, the third. There's 3 of us, but now there's just one. My father and my grandfather gone on before me. I am the co-founder and co-host of a podcast for Lighthouse Educated Development called Value Adds Value. Lighthouse Educated Development is a nonprofit where our focus is to work with new teachers and teachers to try to bring back the inspiration to teaching craft. Our belief is that value adds value. That when you add value to yourself, you inherently add value to every single person you come in contact with. I'm also a 6th grade math teacher at Jones Middle School in Albany. This is I'm not going to tell you. All right, so, because that's part of my next slide. So, some things just real quick. Respect the learning environment. I always like to go over expectations first, because I think that this is like the most important thing. Respect the learning environment. Be open to new opportunities. One of the things they say, the last 7 words of a dying organization is we've always done it this way. And so if we're going to really go to professional developments and get an opportunity to grow, be open to new opportunities, and always ask questions. This is not about me, it's about you and you getting information that I may be the keeper of, or I may be able to facilitate some learning. So, any questions about the expectations? Okay, so this is me. I like to start with screens like this, and I do this in my classroom, even with students, because I think it is important that students see us as human. A lot of our students think that we're teacher bots, and then we come out at 7:45, we teach them, and at 4:45, we turn around and go right back in and back in for the next day. This helps them understand that there's a human side of who I am. As I said, this was my picture. This is my favorite picture of all time because my mom actually made that suit for me. And this is my mom. She was my rock, my mentor, my everything. She passed breast cancer, so I have a pink in my bow tie today in honor of her. And this is my father and my grandfather, who were all Wilkies. And the funny thing is my dad and I were born on the exact same day, which gave us kind of a strange bond growing up. We had like a really love-hate relationship. But I understand now, hindsight's always 20/20, some of the things that we had to go through. This is my family, me, my wife who's here supporting me, and our daughter who just turned 13 in 8th grade. So a lot of my teaching experience, it stems off of what I know works with her. And I transfer that same information as a parent to a teacher and as a teacher to a parent. I try to make it go both ways. This is me and my co-founder, my friend, my guy. He doesn't know how much he really motivates me and encourages me. He says that I'm his mentor. And now he knows Mr. Kyle Krieger.
Hey, everybody.
We started this journey about 6 years ago, working together, and we just having a conversation with each other. And we started learning that the more we talk to each other, the better each of us got. And then when we started shaping the conversations around the same thing, we're reading the same book, let's talk about this book. We didn't call it a book study necessarily, but we would just have conversations of, or we would listen to something or watch a video and be like, hey man, did you watch this video? Yeah, I saw that. What did you see about that? How could that work in the classroom? And from that those, I'm gonna call them sharpening sessions. We have to coin that. Those sharpening sessions kind of really helped me become who I am right now. And that's my wife and I at her parents' 50th anniversary. And I put that picture in recently because that was such a momentous moment because we know that most marriages don't make it that long.
Right.
And to get to that point and to see them still laughing and playing and joking around with each other gives me hope that she comes from that. We can make that happen for us.
Y'all got it.
Yeah. I'm not going to tell you how long we've been married or how long we've been friends because that's going to come up on the next slide. So that's who I am.
You need to catch you at
So who am I by the numbers? So just take a moment just to kind of think, and I want you to try to figure out which of these numbers match which of these events. Just so you can get to know a little bit about me. Who am I by the numbers? I'm a math teacher, so you'll see a lot of math references.
Can we just kind of blurt out and ask you?
If you think you have it, sure.
Okay.
So number of years you've known your wife, 13.
No.
25.
25, that's correct. Yes.
And then you've been married 13 years.
No.
Oh my goodness.
7.
So
7
you've been in
years.
education for 13
Been
years.
in education for 13 years. We got the big ones out.
And you have one sibling.
No,
I
seven
did.
siblings.
I said one child.
Seven
Okay.
siblings.
No, you have 4
Seven
siblings.
dogs?
No.
No, you have
You're
4
you
siblings.
seven.
You said 4
7
siblings.
years of marriage.
4 siblings,
4
Oh, I
siblings.
did.
Okay. And
2 dogs.
2 dogs.
So I like to do this again. There's connections with numbers and everything. And as a math teacher, I like to be able to bring different things in the classroom. And I'll just give a little plug here and a stick a pin. I walked out just now just to kind of clear my mind before coming in. We just presented. And I walk out to the edge of the hallway, and there's one of my former students who's one of the, no, she's a helper, volunteer.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get emotional because we work together with this young lady. And when I walked past her, she has one of those names you'll never forget. And so when I turned around and I saw her face, I just stopped and froze. And she lit up. And her friend said, "This is the teacher you were waiting on."
Oh.
And so it makes me realize this is why I do what I do.
You know,
This is what gives me
and just to
motivation.
interject how funny that was, I saw you down there and there was something that was like, I gotta walk down there. I couldn't see her because she was tucked back in on the other side of the wall.
She was, like I said again, this may sound morbid, but I tell people all the time when I think about what I bring to the classroom every day, I ask myself the question, when I'm in a box and people are crying over me, what are people gonna say about me? And that's what I live for every single day. I know that sounds crazy, but I live for that moment that I'm not gonna be here and what's gonna be continued to be said about me. And so that is, she just solidified that for me. She said, "I was excited. I knew I saw you last year and I was hoping I would see you this year." So it just makes me happy to know that that's what we do as educators. We impact kids' lives that we don't even really know. So that's who I am. So real quick poll, I'm gonna hide the names. And this again, I'm using this platform, I'm using Nearpod. Are anybody here familiar with Nearpod? Uses
I
Nearpod?
just went to the classroom to start using it.
Start using it?
Ooh.
Okay, once.
It
Okay.
basically takes over the classroom, right?
Absolutely. 'Cause if you're
That's the
using it,
idea that I'm getting.
if you're in it right now, you should be able to, it should control your screen if you're logged into it. And it should actually give you this. And this is the exact same thing you can do with your kid.
And that's why Prometheans are cool. Before I was just like, why would I want a Promethean? What are we gonna do with that?
Right.
But yeah.
Right, because it keeps you from being locked in. Because literally, you can be anywhere you want to. And in my classroom, I have a wireless keyboard that has a mouse pad on it. So, because this is kind of, I don't like the clickers unless I'm presenting. But in my classroom, I have my wireless keyboard. So if a kid is saying, "Hey, I got an answer," I can plop my keyboard down and say, "Type it in." You know, or I can monitor what they're doing. And you can look here. Some of the neat features about Nearpod. Now again, not a Nearpod rep. Let me just go there. Not a rep for Nearpod, but we do support and we have a partnership with Nearpod. The thing I love about it is that it tells you who's on and who's not. So what it does is it allows you to be able to see who's active and who's not active. So again, old school strategies, new school tools. What do we want? What do teachers want to do? I want to know if you're engaged in my lesson. Right. I need to know if you're engaged. So if I look up here and I see someone in red, I don't even have to tell it. If I don't have it up here on the screen, if I have it on my computer, or on my tablet, I can literally look, and then if I see it, use proximity.
Right.
Everybody knows the hairy woman, right? Use proximity control to just come stand here to bring her on task to where now everybody lights up green. And then continue the lesson. Never have to address the fact that she was not online or that she didn't do what she needed to do, was not doing it. So take a quick poll. How many years have you been in education? How many years have you been in education? And if you want to, the code is up here, IUJYR. IUJYR.
So when you say we, you're talking about your podcast,
My nonprofit,
your nonprofit.
Yes.
And what was that called?
the Lighthouse Educator Development, the LED project. And like I said, our primary focus is to inspire teachers. I used to get kind of, people like inspired teachers. It's kind of, altruistic, but at the same time, why shouldn't we have someone who's championing teachers in a way to inspire them and give them motivation? We have enough content specialists around the country that can come in and teach math. And I tell people, I told my principal when he hired me, I'm not your best math teacher. If you're looking for the greatest math teacher, you will not find it. But if you're looking for the greatest teacher for students, you just found it. Those are two different things. I'm not a math person. I didn't go to school for math. I went to school I was a sociology major in school. So I learned people before I learned pedagogy. So for me, I think people is more prevalent. It makes more of a difference. And things like Nearpod gives you an opportunity to where you can engage with people. And the fact that you have built-in lessons, there's so many lessons, and we have a couple of giveaways that we'll do. And some things, if you've tried it and you never tried it and you want to try it, we can get you signed up for a 3-month free membership where you can try it out to see if you like it. I had to spend this whole summer learning Nearpod. And then now I'll show you another thing that's good. It integrates with Google Slides. So if you already have a presentation that you have that's great in Google Slides, this entire slide right here, Shlo, that I'm doing right now, was created in Google Slides. I created
Educator Program?
Lighthouse Educator Development. So right here, we're looking at majority of us are seasoned teachers, as I like to call us. Wow, perfect, okay. So let's move on from here. The purpose of this is to show how seasoned educators adapted to the use of new technology without losing the tried and true strategies of teaching math. Again, I'm a math educator, and so one of the things that I like to focus on is how do I meet the kids where they are. And so what we're going to talk about is how I kind of took my journey to do it. Because again, my mentor was an old school teacher. If I write it, you write it. Write it just like I said. Follow every step that I do. Do it just like I said. But do our kids follow all our rules?
No.
They don't. If we had a room full of rule followers, we can give them rules and they will do it and follow it exactly. But we know we don't. So we have to meet them where they are. And technology gives us a platform and an opportunity to do that. All right. So, I'm not going to do that. So, technology in the math classroom. Do you believe technology helps or harms classroom instruction? You can type in and just post it up there. So, again, another tool we can use in the classroom. Because as you're doing it, you want to do a quick check to see if kids got it. This is the way you can do it. Have them just put it in.
Is that called chalkboard?
This is called chalkboard, yes.
And is that an activity?
That's
Slide?
it actually comes up as an activity in Nearpod.
That activity is called collaborate.
Yeah, collaborate.
Collaborate.
Exclamation. And also what you notice here, these little hearts. That means that if you see something that someone else writes, you can like it. What do our kids do? Right now, we live in a generation, our kids they chase likes, they chase followers, and they chase subscribers. That is just the world we live in. Like, it is crazy that, kids come up to me all the time. Mr. Law, I'm following you on Instagram. You need to follow me back. Mr. Law, I see your Instagram. I saw you rapping on your Instagram. You gonna follow us back? And I tell the kids, once you move out of 6th grade and you go to 7th grade, then I'll follow you. Because now I don't have a reason to follow you. Now I see you every day. Right? You see me every day. I don't have a reason to follow you. Because I know what you're doing. If you're doing something great, then come over here, jump on my feet. And now you can share what we do together. But I don't follow them until they leave me. And once they leave me, they remember and they come back because we know our kids chase the light. They chase it. They want to use technology. Research tells us right now that our kids are spending about 8 to 9 hours a day. That's a job. Online. They're performing job duties without just online. They'll stream more. We were looking at our daughter's phone. My daughter does more FaceTime than she does in text messages. So what does that tell me? They're wanting to engage with the person that they're with. So again, if we're that mindset, well, I'm not going to use technology. And I know teachers in our district, we're fortunate enough that we have technology. At my campus, we're a brand new campus. So every classroom got 30 Chromebooks.
Oh, wow.
Every classroom. And I love it. I have a class of 34 kids. So I took my iPad mini, and I tell kids, if you have your phone, take your phone out. Oh, Miss Law, I don't have a Chromebook. Can I use my phone? Absolutely, use your phone.
The Chromebooks work well with Nearpod?
Absolutely. And the fact that the Chromebooks are touchscreen. I have kids who've gone out and bought styluses so that they can actually write, neat instead of using their fingers. Again, but when a kid invests in something that's going to help them do something in your classroom, to me, that's a win. That's a win. Okay, we use technology. Ms. Law, okay, well, can I bring my own stylus? Absolutely.
Well, what does the school districts do? Because aren't Chromebooks usually assigned to one person?
Yeah, well, no. My classroom is set up to where every class is assigned a Chromebook. No.
Right.
So it's 1 through 30. And so every kid in one class has a Chromebook number. The next class has another. So if something goes wrong on a Chromebook, I know it's either 1 or 3 kids.
Right. Okay, that's what I was saying. Okay. And then you just clear it for the next year. And
All right. So any questions about technology? Everybody kind of sees that it helps. So now let's do some math. I know, again, I'm a math teacher. So we're going to focus on doing a little bit of math. And so solve the following using the scratch paper provided. Now, if you notice in the scratch paper, I actually use notebook paper because I get a lot of people say, well, I need to see student work. That's one of the biggest complaints with as a math educator. Students, I need to see their work. I need to see that they follow the steps and they understand it. Well, now with Nearpod and with a lot of the platforms that are out there, they're giving you that ability to be able to see what the student does. And so,
what if you don't have a touch screen?
you can actually type into these. You can actually type into those. Mm-hmm.
I tried to type it, it didn't let me, but I have to.
Yeah, I've actually, when I was in San Antonio, a lady put it in and I'm like, man, this is neat. How did you write so neat? She's like, no, I just typed it in. Because it gives you that option to type it in versus doing it. And so again, as a teaching tool, I can literally go up and then we can have a conversation with how the student's work is. Still autonomy, don't know whose work it is. And I would probably do this most of the time, especially if I know I'm doing a good example versus a bad example. We'll just talk about the work itself. If I wanted to, we could actually come here and I can actually share this out to anybody that's in here. I can share this to your screen. So, does your screen change to this problem? Yeah. So now we can have a discussion about this problem and say, okay, let's look and see what went wrong with this problem or what went right with this problem. Let's identify some things that's going on. And now you're critiquing another student's work, which is some of the same things that we do in the classroom when we say pass your paper to the left, share with your shoulder partner. Again, using the new school technology, the new school tools does not mean that we get rid of these old school strategies. I'm an old school teacher. I believe in building relationships, using proximity. I love to walk around my classroom. That's why I like my wireless keyboard, because I can be anywhere in my room. Our school, we have wireless document cameras. So I'm not tethered to anything, and I keep my document camera on a podium. And my kids say I get like a preacher, because sometimes when the kids do what they do, I'll put my podium up and I kind of put my hands on it. And, you know, I have my document camera and I'll tap on it. And the kids know when I tap on it, I'm trying to get their attention. Even though it doesn't make a sound, they see me doing it. So then I'll say, okay, can I have everybody's attention? That's what happens. Yep. All right, so, but again, using those old school strategies never goes out of style. There are certain things that you just can't throw out. And a lot of teachers struggle with accepting and adopting to technology because they feel like, it's just one more thing that I have to learn. But if your kid's already doing it, and you refuse to learn it, then aren't you kind of kicking against a brick wall, trying to keep them from doing the thing? I notice kids always want to have their phones out. So now I've tried to train myself to teach a 5-minute lesson. Whatever I'm teaching, I try to train myself to teach it in 5 minutes, and I tell the kids, right now, I'm getting ready to teach the lesson. I don't want you taking notes, record me. What better way to go home and study for something than you have your teacher's voice with your teacher manipulated right there on your phone? You can't possibly go wrong. But it's a challenge for me because now I got to do it in 5 minutes. So we talk about it. What does it take? Okay, I need everybody to be on task. I need everybody to be engaged. Everybody focused. There are people reporting so we can know what we're doing. Okay, we ready? All right, let's go. Boom. And I'll start teaching the lesson.
That's what they say, it's like short chunks. You know?
Think about how long our kids watch it. They're in a generation now between 1 minute to 3 minutes. If you don't have them, their attention is gone. You literally have to be changing all the time. 15 minutes, too much for our kids. 15 minutes. After we do our model, they record it. Okay, put your phones down if you need it, use it. Now let's practice. And we instantly go into a practice. Not more me talking, more you doing. And when we shift that, technology gives us that ability to not only do it, but do it and be able to critique the work. So you was able to do that. Okay. So again, this is another tool that we can do. Okay, going on to the next one. Let's try another problem. Multiplication.
Can I have a calculator?
Yeah.
That's what my kids do. I do high.
What I usually do, I know in our district, in Aldine, we have an app.
I'm Aldi.
Okay, so then you have access to Braining Camp. And Braining Camp actually provides students with scratch pads, manipulatives, online manipulatives, all that. Don't even have to worry about the kids, and my kids know if they're working on one thing, they can open Braining Camp up if they need those manipulatives. I found that it was hard for me to keep going back and forth with the little color counters when I'm teaching integers and giving every kid that what are they doing to get the color counters? They play with them, they stack them up, they spread them all over the floor, they throw them down, then all of a sudden they spinning the bags around, the bags get ripped. Now, I get overwhelmed with that. Braining Camp, and I'll show it to you in a minute. Braining Camp actually gives you those same manipulatives online. And the kids can actually use the same manipulatives online. I should have put a link in there on this one, but I'll go into it. But again, I love the idea of using this because it's so similar to what our kids are used to seeing. And this is just an image that I cropped off of Google. I typed in notebook paper, and it came up as a picture of notebook paper, and I put it inside here. And I keep it on both my computers, and I put it in every time I use a Nearpod lesson because that's what they're used to. And especially I teach a lot of SPED kids. So this helps my SPED kids keep it on a line for those kids who need to do that. And here we have some examples. I can critique it. Again, I can share it. I can unshare it. If I wanted to, if everybody got it right, we know that confidence is a big thing in education. We can actually say everybody got it right and then use it up there and say, okay, now let's look at what Amina did. And then there's like, oh, here's my name. Here's my problem. They get excited about it. Everybody can see what it is. I can share it out. And then we can talk about what happened. If you got it wrong, what did they do that you did not do? Again, using the technology as a tool. And we know that a lot of times in technology, it was used as kind of a nanny or as a TA in a classroom. I got to get my grades done, so get on the computer, go play a game. Oh, yeah, I'm speaking because I'm guilty. I'm guilty. Just get on the computer, everybody log in, we're gonna do such and such minutes of this. Okay, go for it, then I sit and I go do my grades. Or I'm doing something else, or I'm trying to make sure I have this caught up for this. But when you actually use it and engage the students with it, you'll be amazed. Last year, my students were able to, because I used Nearpod and I used Google Classroom last year, Google Slides. Last year, when I gave my kids projects, most of their projects were in Google Slides. And they were asking, Mr. Law, can you put this in Nearpod? Last year, it didn't have that add-on wasn't there. But this year is there. So now when my kids do that project at the end of this 9 weeks, I'll be able to go in and say, okay, now, yeah, if you want to put it in Nearpod, save it, send it to me, let's put it in Nearpod. And now you can share that with your classmates. Now, the benefit of that is that when you have 8 or 9 different projects teaching the same lesson in different various styles, now those students are hearing that information 8 or 9 different times from 8 or 9 different people, not you. All through the power of technology. I ask students all the time, I have an Alexa in my room, so when they ask me questions I don't know the answer to, I say, well, how would you find an answer? I don't know. And I would say, hey, Alexa. And she would, ding, they would ask the question. But again, it shows them that there is everything is at their access. We did a podcast with a guy, Dr. Sean Woodley, out of Atlanta, Georgia, and he's a professor of education. He said, we asked him what did he think about the state of education right now? And his statement was, I think we're living and working in the best time in education ever. Never heard that response before. But what he said was, we have access to so much right now. Think about it. With Twitter, you can literally see what somebody's doing in their classroom almost every day. There are teachers who go Twitter live feed and run live feeds of their classrooms. So it's no longer me having to go to someone's building or ride to somewhere else. I don't have to go pay money to go travel to somewhere else. I can go online. Instagram has done it. Facebook, I just said in a training 2 weeks ago in San Antonio, Facebook now has Facebook for Education, where they're building their education community up. So everything in education is shifting because the reality is, this is what's going to run our world. It's already running. Driverless cars, artificial intelligence, the fact that your phone knows when you have a conversation that it knows if you talk about Church's Chicken, it's going to pull up a Church's Chicken. You're going to be scrolling somewhere that's going to be like, there's a Church's Chicken near you. Mm-hmm. My kids are like, that's kind of freaky and creepy.
I agree.
But if we're not preparing them to understand how to navigate this technology system, and we think that they're going to learn the way we did. I remember my dad used to be the truck driver. Y'all remember the multiplication charts that had the little wheel? Yeah. And you scroll the wheel and you click on it, it'll go on 3, and then you could have to memorize all your 3s. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He would give it to me and say, you need to know your 3s and your 4s by the time I come back. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was my dad. He was not an educator. He was a truck driver. So he would do that to challenge me. Our kids will never know what that little spinning thing is. Why would they need to know? My kids all the time are like, Mr. Law, you let us use calculators in there? Absolutely. If I'm not testing you to see if you know how to do this problem, use your calculator. Because if I'm in a store and I want to figure out exactly how much something's going to cost, I can't sit there and say, okay, it's $19.99 plus this times 8.25% tax. Not going to do it. So we have to get them used to using the technology in an appropriate way. So again, that's one way. This is another way. Now this video, you didn't know vocabulary and Nearpod now are integrated. It scrolls. Did it go there?
I just
but vocabulary now and Nearpod are actually merged. They're one. Vocabulary, I think it's actually said vocabulary powered by Nearpod. They bought them out, and so now that's part of their platform. So we're gonna watch a quick video. Again, this is area and perimeter, another math concept. Please pay attention, there is a quiz at the end.
So each of us one class, you can do it, or would you have them do it on
You can do it either. You could do it either. I could do it to where you saw when I was tapping on it, it kind of skipped up. It was asking me, do I want every device to show the video and hear the sound, or do I want just one device? If I'm doing it student pace, that every student have their earphones in, they can listen to the video at their own. And they can actually go back to the video as many times as they want to help them get the answers that they need. So the idea behind it is you can do either one, whole class or individual class. Good question.
The area, that's the space inside for a rectangle which length and width are multiplied. Perimeter, the distance around the shape, just add the sides together and then you'll be great. The area, that's the space inside for a rectangle which length and width are multiplied. Perimeter, the distance around the shape, just add the sides together and then you'll be great. Yeah, here I am on Mars, trying to find out the size of my backyard. But it's a rectangle, right? So what if we cut it into squares of the same side that are 1 unit long by 1 unit wide? These are called square units. Add them all up, surprise! You got 72 square units because that's the unit where you use it. Who has time to count squares? Length times width is the quickest way to get there. Yeah, that's how you find the area. A nice little formula that'll take area. And I need to hurry because my dog is starving. Let's find the area so I can feed Marvin. My yard is 9 feet long by 8 feet wide. I get the area when I multiply each side. 9 times 8 is 72. And here's another way for you to think it through. Basically, you take the rows and figure how many square units fit inside of those. Yo, my backyard is wide, 8 feet. So that's 8 rows with 9 square units in each. So multiply the 8 rows by the 9 square units, you get 72. Yeah, you the area. That's the space inside for a rectangle. Its length and width are multiplied. Perimeter, the distance around the shape. Just add the sides together and then you'll be great.
Okay, so we're gonna stop right there, just for time's sake. And then kids watch a video. This is another activity that's in Nearpod. Time to climb. We'll do the spooky one. So now, this is a quiz. But one thing you gotta know about kids like to compete. If you've ever done any kind of Kahoot or quizzes or Quizlet, kids love to compete. So what this is taking a quiz and putting it into a fun activity. They get to actually watch what happens. And they love seeing the little characters come up. Every time somebody joins, their character comes up, and the idea behind it is they're gonna climb a mountain. Let's see who gets to the top of the mountain first. The faster you answer questions, and get them right, it moves you up the circle. Again, this is a formative assessment. This is a formative assessment. We just watched a video. Now, let me see what you were able to take away from that video. All right, everybody's in. Yeah. 4 people in. Are we waiting?
Oh, sorry.
Again, going back to here. You can always see who's in and who's not. Again, just a great tool to use to make sure the kids are on task. Whenever I see this, then I start walking around the room. I don't even have to really look and see and click on it to see who's not. That's just a trigger for me. I don't even tell my kids that's what that is.
So when it turns red, you're saying?
When it turns red, that tells me that somebody's not on.
Okay.
If everybody's engaged, it's going to be great.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we'll start it. If you notice over here, it shows you your little race over here and who's winning.
I like it that it only shows it at the top.
Right. So Mira was the winner. You know that's what they work for.
We
I said I
can,
need to start me a t-shirt that says "We'll work for chips."
Yeah.
I think kids will do anything for chips.
Yeah.
Takis, hot Cheetos, Chester fries, hot Cheetos. I do them all. Sam's, give me a big bag and just sit it in the room, put it in the towel. So it's not just for math. We won't go through this, but I'll kind of show you how we could do this. Because we don't have a lot of time and I want to give you some time. Just took reading passages and I created it as the background. So now if I wanted to have kids go in and actually look at this in depth, I could actually have them do individual readings. I can do a popcorn around the room and have everybody read one section. I could stop here and ask questions to make sure that they understand. If you look in there, there's a notes section where you can actually take notes in Nearpod, so they can kind of journal their notes. What are they saying in this part right now before we move to the next one? Again.
So that's what I was gonna ask, yeah, so if the paper is not, the background can be multiple pages.
Mm-hmm. And that's what this is. This goes
Yes.
3 different pages. Now it ends. Now we're going straight into a quiz. Check for understanding. State 3 things you learned from the reading. We won't do this right now because I'm going to try to move quickly through it. You may use your shoulder partners. You can always put the information up there that you want them to use, how you want them to engage with it. Next, go through that. So, yeah, so that was using with reading. So some of the benefits, and again, this is not coming from me, this is coming from the research. Makes learning more fun. One of the biggest things that we have to do, students will not learn if they're not having fun. They have to some kind of way be engaged, either locked in on you as a teacher or locked in on a concept. And it has to be something that they think is worth their time. Prepare students for the future. Technology is where everybody, the world is going. So the more we can have students using it and using it appropriately, the better. Help students learn at their own pace, and it connects with students because this is what our students do. They use devices, they use technology. So are there any questions up to this point? I know I'll skip through those last ones, but I want to be mindful of your time and the next presenter who's going to come after. Any questions about this?
I have one.
Yes.
It is absolutely true that the kids are more engaged. We did a Kahoot yesterday. I kept having to calm the kids down to the questions like, y'all, we're wasting time. But I teach ELA and professional communication speech. And it's kind of, I'm looking at it where a lot of other classes use the technology, but we've lost the art of conversation and interpersonal communication. How do we draw a line between that? That's, I heard you say earlier, we're kind of standoffish, and a seasoned teacher's a little bit standoffish with the technology. And that's kind of my mindset, where the kids are losing that art or that craft.
But think about it. If you're here with the mouse story, you could say, okay, now turn and talk with your partners. Come up with an idea that will cause you to, what would happen if you was write a story, quick story, about what would you do if you saw a mouse in your house? So now that's engaging them to have to talk with a neighbor, that's engaging their writing skills, and they have it right here in front of them so they don't have to have a book. Because we know things that's one of the big things. We don't have to have books. They don't have to have anything. Everything could be in this platform, and they're still engaged in it the same way.
And they have their device.
They have their device in their hand. And we know that's a comfort. That's like Linus with his blanket for Charlie Brown. Our kids, this is their blanket.
Well, if they lose that thing today, you really, literally almost have to let them go find it.
Yeah, their whole day is spent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, and just to not to plug our other session, but another technology driven, if you're really looking for conversations, is have them take out their phone and record a voice memo, and you could have them create podcasts. That's another technology-based activity, which hits another wicket that kids love, which is what can they create that lives online? And especially if it's if you're wanting to go conversationally based, that is one of the best ways to do it. And if you want to talk afterwards, more specifically how we do that, I would love to.
You said you didn't want to plug your other session. Is there another session?
We just got done doing it.
Okay.
So speaking of podcasts, I've really never listened to one. Like, where do you listen to podcasts?
Well, here's the deal on that. We recorded our other session. By the end of the weekend, it will be on YouTube to where you can watch it. But if you substitute my name, Kyle, Kyle, where Wilkie's name is, if you have any podcast-based questions, please email me. I would love to help you.
And if you would like an opportunity to get a free gold membership, you can email me. Or if you want to try, you want to say, hey, let me just try Nearpod, I've never done it before, you can go go.nearpod.com/value and sign up through there, and they'll give you 3 months to try it out. And with this 3-month trial, they'll actually give you a $25 credit so that you can actually go in and purchase some of the content in your area that you want. Most of the content is anywhere between $3 to $5. So you can get just like 4 to 5 different areas that you know that are coming up that you want to focus on.
And if you're really into the Nearpod platform, especially, please contact us, and we can connect you with our Nearpod connections who are expert at how to use literally any type of curriculum, any type of activity. That's how we got connected with them, is through good friends of ours who showed us the versatility of this platform, of this one especially.
I want to thank you. I was going to go here, but if you want to, never listen to a podcast, shameless plug. We do have a podcast for educators called Value Adds Value, where we interview teachers and from all over the world and just get fresh perspective on education. So you can listen to us there. This is all of my contact on Instagram and Twitter. I'm active on both of those.
So like iTunes, you have to pay for it, right?
Apple iTunes.
Yeah.
No, podcasts are free.
Are
Podcasts are
they?
free.
Yeah.
Even if you're, okay, but you have to have an Apple phone.
Correct.
Okay.
No,
No, I think you can get Apple Podcasts
without
on any device now. The easiest one probably, otherwise you can do iHeartRadio or Spotify.
There's no more questions. We're 1 minute over, and I want to honor your time so you can get to the next section. Thank you so much. You need a sticker for your.
Thank you for my calendar. My wife is on my game.
That's my man.
Now her business. She got that.
Yes, it's
And again, email us. Absolutely, email us if you have any questions or comments about anything.
No, you said you're in ELA